We begin this morning with the shutdown of the federal government. The government stopped operating at midnight, halting all but essential services. This after the Senate came 10 votes short of reaching a temporary last-minute funding deal that would have kept the government open through February 16th. It comes on the anniversary of President Trump's inauguration and with the GOP in control of both chambers of Congress and the White House. It is a first in history.
The president is placing blame on Senate Democrats. However, 5 Democrats broke with their party to back the measure, while 5 Republicans voted against it. Democrats were holding out for a comprehensive bill and a deal to protect DACA recipients, immigrants brought to the U.S. illegally as children. Nancy Cordes is on Capitol Hill, where lawmakers were still trying to cut a deal early this morning. Nancy, good morning.
Good morning. Burning the midnight oil indeed. And if Republican leaders get their way, this shutdown will not last long. They are hoping that Democrats join them later today in passing a bill to keep the government open for just 2.5 weeks. They say that should give them enough time to craft a compromise, providing legal status to those so-called dreamers.
The motion is not agreed to.
The GOP bill to fund the government failed on the Senate floor just before midnight.
The government shutdown was 100% avoidable.
Government functions began scaling back at 12:01 a.m. as the Senate's Republican leader fumed.
They held all this hostage, all of it hostage, over the completely unrelated issue of illegal immigration.
Democrats were demanding a deal granting legal status to immigrants brought to this country illegally as children. Without it, all but 5 Senate Democrats made good on their threat to bring down a bill funding the government for 1 month.
Mr. Carper, no.
Last-ditch negotiations to head off a shutdown went nowhere.
This will be called the Trump shutdown.
Democratic leader Chuck Schumer said he thought he and the president made progress on a deal when they met at the White House Friday. But by the afternoon, he said, the president pulled back at the urging of conservatives.
Even though President Trump seemed to like an outline of a deal in the room, he did not press his party in Congress to accept it. What happened to the President Trump, who asked us to come up with a deal?
Leader McConnell is now proposing a bill to fund the government through February 8th, which Republican Lindsey Graham had suggested would give the two sides just enough time to craft a dreamer deal in earnest.
And there will be no deal without a DACA solution.
The Senate is coming back in at noon Eastern time. They have not set a time for a vote. The House would have to take a vote as well. But even if they buy themselves another 2.5 weeks, Alex, this is an issue that has stymied Congress for years. So there's no guarantee that another 2.5 weeks will necessarily make the difference.
Nancy Cordes burning that midnight oil herself right on Capitol Hill. Thanks, Nancy.
You're welcome.